Hey guys, if you ever wanted to install one of these bidets and you've always been afraid to do it, whether you didn't want to do the plumbing or you weren't sure about the electrical work, stay with me in this video. I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to install one of these things. You don't have to worry about it. Your boy's got you covered. Let's get at it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. If it's your first time here, welcome. And to all my longtime subscribers, you guys know the drill. Welcome back. Well guys, today I have this new bidet from TOTO. And I figured I'd do a video to show you guys just how easy it is to install one of these things. Now, the biggest hiccup in installing one of these things, as you guys probably already know, because you've probably been researching it, is that you got to have electrical power in your bathroom. Now, a lot of people are afraid of doing this, but I'm here to tell you that it's not as complicated as you think it is. There are just a couple things you need to follow along, follow these steps, and you'll be able to wire this thing up and have yourselves a futuristic toilet like this. You may be asking, should you do it? Is it going to make that much of a difference? I'm here to tell you, my wife and my family and I went to Japan recently and they had these toilet seats everywhere. And let me tell you something, it's a game changer. If you haven't used one before, you're about to have your life changed. And if you've used it before, then you guys know what I'm talking about and you can't wait to get this thing installed. Here's how this is going to work. First of all, I want to let you guys know I'm not sponsored. I got this on my own. And I'm going to install it and show you guys exactly how to do it. Now I'm going to break this video into two parts. One is going to be the plumbing and the installation of this. So if you guys already have an electrical connection and you just want to know how to install one of these things, you can jump ahead to that section. The other section is going to be the wiring and the electrical portion of getting this thing wired up and running an electrical outlet inside my bathroom. If you think you're up for the challenge and you want to learn how to do it, then stay with me in this video. I'll walk you through everything, all the steps, everything you need to know to get one of these things installed, up and running, and change your life forever. All right, so let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. So the first thing that you're going to need to know is you need to know, one, where you're getting your power from, and two, where is the location that you're going to put your outlet. Now, in this bathroom that I'm in, I have two options. So I can either put my first location somewhere down here on this side of the toilet, which is the left side, or on this side of the toilet, which is the right side. Now for me, fortunately, I have two circuits that are on the exterior of this bathroom. Let me show you exactly where they are. So one of the first outlets I have is located here, and it's on the right side of the toilet. And the second outlet that I have is right on the outside, right in front of the toilet. In my bathroom, the circuit on this side here, on the other side of this wall, is a 20 amp circuit. And the circuit located down here is a 15 amp circuit. However, if you only have a 15 amp, you can use a 15 amp circuit if you're just going to run it, and just make sure it's a GFCI circuit and your toilet seat is rated for 15 amps. If it is, then you're good to go. It will work. So now in my case, I want to put my outlet on this side of the toilet since the power is on this wall here. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to walk you through it, is we're going to put an opening for a box here on this wall. I'm going to cut the drywall all along here, working my way here, and then I'm going to go up the wall onto the back of the receptacle that's back here. Now you guys just need to go grab some tools, and this is not complicated. You don't need to make it overly complicated. What you're going to see me doing here is I'm going to use a level to make a nice clean straight line down. I'm going to measure to know exactly where my box is, and I'm going to make a cut maybe 4 inches from the back of the box all the way down the drywall and make my way all the way across to the toilet. Now you can use a bunch of different tools. I'm going to be using an oscillating saw with a drywall bit, but you can use a drywall saw, whatever you want, as long as you can make a nice clean cut to cut this drywall and remove it. One more thing I want you guys to know before you start is you need to have an idea when you're running this, which one of these boxes you're going to use, whether you want to use an old work box or a shallow box. Now in my case, this wall over here where I'm taking the power from is an interior wall. So it's 3.5 inches deep, which means if I was putting the plug on this wall here, I could use a deep box. However, the wall behind my toilet here is an exterior wall, which means that it's only has 1.5 inches furring. So I'm going to have to use a shallow box. So it's just something to note before you actually cut your hole, if you know where you want to put your box to make it easier. Another thing to know as well that could make this a lot easier for you. If you have baseboard, take a look down here. If you have regular baseboard, what you can do is remove the baseboard and you can make your cut just an inch below the baseboard, cut it all the way across and remove it. That way you'll have a nice clean seam. All you need to do is put the baseboard back when you're done with the drywall. You don't have to patch any drywall. In my case, I have tile, so I can't do that. I gotta actually cut the drywall and patch it back when I'm done. Just something good for you to note. That's another option and another way for you to fix this thing. Once we're done cutting out the drywall, you can remove it. I like to save as much as I can because I'm going to reuse the existing drywall to cover back the hole when I'm done. But you can just take it apart, set it to the side, and I can remove all the old screws that are holding it to the stud and take out the final piece here. Now, as you can see in my wall, I have metal studs here, and you can see the existing Romex that's going up into the switch here. So I'm going to run my cable from here, and I'm going to come all the way down to here, follow it across, and I'm going to remove this part of the drywall here, all the way across, and my outlet is going to go here. Once we're done cutting all the drywall, we can just pry it off and remove it. And now we expose the wall. Here's one of the things that I was worried about. We have a stud here, we have a stud here. So I got to be able to try and fish the Romex behind here around this corner. Once we know that we don't have any power, we can go ahead and remove the faceplate for our outlet and remove all the screws that are holding our outlet in place. Once we have all the screws out, then we can go ahead and remove our outlet. Now I'm going to go ahead and push my Romex through the hole in the back here. And then we can go ahead and strip back our cable and cut off any excess that we have. Since I know that these two wires here are my hot and my neutral coming in from the panel, and these are the two that are going out to another outlet down the line, and these are the ones going to my GFI behind my toilet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Wego 221 wire nuts, and I'm going to put one on the neutral line, I'm going to put one on the hot line. Then I'm going to go ahead and strip my wires that are going to the outlet behind my toilet. And I'm going to connect all the blacks to the black, all the neutrals with the neutrals. And I'm going to put a pigtail that's going to go now from my black back to my outlet, along with another neutral. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect my ground. Now the only thing left to do is connect all our neutrals on one side of our outlet and our hots on the other side. The only thing left to do now is tuck our wires back in and put our outlet back on. Once we have our cover plate back on, we're done. We can now jump back into the bathroom. Once we're back in the bathroom, we can go ahead and start running our Romex. And go ahead and just fish it through. Taking note, before we tighten everything up, I'm going to make sure that I go ahead and zip tie these together so that the wires don't get caught on the stud on the inside. So you just want to go ahead and continue fishing the wire through. Whenever you're going around corners, you want to try and push and pull at the same time so that you get a nice steady flow of your cable running through and that you don't scrape it or scratch it or have it mar. Now the last thing I want to do is we're going to locate our outlet. I'm going to put it right here. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and mark the box, the cutout for our box. Make sure that it's level. Once we have our cutout, we can go ahead, use our oscillating tool and cut the drywall out. Because I have block wall here, I'm going to have to use a shallow box like this. So I need to feed the cable through the wall and then put the box in. Now because this is a block wall, I'm going to have to fasten the box to the block wall using Tapcons. And then once I have the box fastened to the wall, I'll be able to strip the wires and then make all my necessary connections. Once we have the box secured to the wall, the next thing we're going to do is strip back the wires and then make all our connections on our GFCI outlet, connecting the black to the hot, white to the neutral, and the bare copper to the ground. Once we're done installing the outlet, we can go ahead, put on the cover plate, tighten up the screws, and then we can go ahead and turn the power on, make sure that everything is good, and then we're ready to patch up the walls. All right, now it's time for the fun part, putting back all the drywall pieces. Now all the pieces that I removed from the initial steps, I'm going to reuse. If you guys didn't get them out in one piece, you can always just use some fresh drywall to put in here. Now the key to putting back in drywall when you cut them like this is to use some blocks of wood. As you can see here, I use a bunch of different pieces in some different positions to put as a foundation for the drywall to screw to. Now all you need to do is work your way around, put a couple pieces of wood backing, and once you're done with that, you'll be ready to put in your drywall pieces and then put some tape, compound, sand, paint to get this thing looking like new. And once you got all the pieces put in, you're pretty much done with the drywall portion of this. And now it's on to the fun part in installing the plumbing and the seat itself. Let's get to it and let's wrap this thing up. So for this part of the process, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need some wrenches and you're going to need something to catch some water. Whether it's a little bucket like this or a Tupperware or a little bowl, whatever it is, grab one of those. So now let's go ahead and let's install this seat. Shouldn't take us too long. Let me show you what you got to do. First things first, we're going to go ahead and remove the existing seat. Usually there's some screws. Sometimes you have to lift up these tabs and there's some screws that hold this to the tank. But in my case, it's just some screws underneath. So I'm just going to reach underneath and loosen them. Once they're all loosened, you can just go ahead and lift up the seat and you should be able to just take it right off. And there you have it. Just like that, we're good to go. Now clean up any mess that's there before you get ready to put on the new seat. The first thing you want to do is slide a bowl or something up under your shut-off valve. And then you want to go ahead and turn off the water. Next thing, you want to go ahead and flush your toilet. This will drain all the excess water out of the tank so that you don't have water leaking everywhere. Once you have the water shut off and you flush your toilet, next thing you want to do is loosen the connection that's connected closest to your tank. In my case, I have this T here, but don't worry about it. You just want to loosen the one that's connected to your tank. Now this connection that's connected to my T here, I'm going to loosen it as well. Now included in your kit, you should have a T that looks like this. What you want to do next is connect this T to your tank and just tighten it by hand. You don't have to use a wrench, and you don't have to use any Teflon. Just get it nice and snug and you should be good to go. Next, connect the hose that's connected to your shutoff valve and connect it to the bottom. Again, hand tighten it and you don't need any Teflon. All right, once you're done connecting the pipes, next up, we're going to connect the seat. All right, next up, let's go ahead and install the bracket. Now, the toilet comes with this little bracket here and these plugs. Now, these plugs, the first thing you want to do is push them down inside the tank. They may be a little difficult at first, but what you want to do is, if they're too hard to push through, just lubricate them with some water and then try and push them through all the way through the toilet. Once they're in, they should look something like this. Next, they provide a plate that's going to sit on top of the grommets. And they provided a spacer plate, which wants to sit about 3/4 of an inch between here and the end. Next thing you want to do is drop the provided screws in. And you want to go ahead and tighten them until you're able to just barely move the bracket back and forth. Once you have it set, you're going to go ahead and tighten it down. Now, if you notice, these things have grooves here. If when you slide on the toilet seat, it doesn't open fully and it hits here, you may need to slide this forward. So what you would have to do is loosen these and then move this bracket and move this further down. Okay, so this is kind of like a trial and error method, but the most important thing is make sure once you have this thing centered that you tighten these things down so that it doesn't move. Once the bracket is tight, we can go ahead and slide the seat back on. The seat has some clips on the side right here that you press in to release it. You want to slide it in and it's going to latch into these things. You're going to push it back until you hear it click in place. So just line it up and push it back till you hear it click. Just like that. You can give it a little tug to make sure it doesn't pull forward. And with that, the seat is installed. All right, with that, you're pretty much done. Once you've checked the seat, it's not moving. The last thing you have left to do is to connect this hose to the T that's left. Turn on your power, plug in the seat, and you're good to go. Then you can turn the water back on and you can start testing this thing. So now that we have our water back on, you want to check for any leaks. and then you want to go ahead and patch up the drywall here. The hardest part about this whole project is running the electrical. But once you've figured out where your source is, what size GFCI you're going to install, and the route that you're going to take, it's just a matter of cutting some drywall and running your cables. Once you've got that done, putting the seat on, it just pretty much bolts on and snaps into place. It's connected by a couple hoses and you're good to go. And now you can sit down and enjoy your bidet once you're on the throne. And trust me, it's going to make a hell of a difference to you if you've installed one of these things. If you guys enjoy the content, don't forget, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more DIY content and product reviews. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video.